This is CHSTV News.
Good morning, Cathedral. I'm Romeo with your morning announcements for Monday, March the 8th, 2021. Let's start off the show with a message from Mr. Daly.
Okay, good morning, Cathedral. Welcome to another week here in March, as it seemed to be a little bit brighter and cheerier, at least to me on the weekend, and the hopes of spring are coming. I want to wish everyone a happy International Women's Day. That was a great prayer and sentiment by Chiara Fricano. So thank you, Chiara, and for your good leadership and good role modeling you do around the school here. I hope that staff enjoyed Faith Day on Friday. I hope it was a chance to get spiritually and physically and emotionally refreshed for the last 3 days of period 1, block 1. So I just want to remind staff and students, I think everyone knows that Wednesday is the last day of period 1, block 1. Staff, we did put out an email on Friday that marks will be due on March 16th at 9 a.m. with verifications at noon, so that should get everyone plenty of time to get that stuff done. And students, you know, you've got 3 days to do the best you can and get everything in and finish your classes as strong as possible. And we will be starting period 2, block 2 on Thursday. And I know Vice Principal Juba will probably be down to remind you, but just a reminder to students that your cohort could change for period 2, so don't forget that. So 2 reminders for students: it's your last 3 days to do the best you can in your classes, and secondly, you do have to double check that your cohort has not changed for period 2, which will begin on Thursday. And I just want to remind students, Bishop Bryan Catholic Secondary School suffered a terrible loss of one of their students on the weekend and late last week, and our prayers go out to that great community. I want to remind students that we are here for you, and I think students know this, but sometimes individual students, when they're having a tough time, think there's maybe nobody there for them. And I want to remind all the students that if you're ever having any difficulty, and that can be at school, that can be at home, that can be how you're feeling, please make sure you speak up to your favorite adult here in the school, and that's very important. So that could be anyone from me to your favorite teacher, to our chaplaincy leader, to our nurse practitioners. We've got so many people around here to help you, but we don't read your minds, and if you're having difficulties, we're here to help you, and we want you to speak up. And another reminder to students that if you ever had a friend who wasn't doing so well and you were worried about them, please speak up on their behalf to one of the caring adults in the building. So that's a reminder, and that happens every day here at school. But make sure that you take care of yourself by asking for help if you need it, and make sure that if you have a friend that you're worried about, that you speak up on their behalf, because that's what we do here at Cathedral. We take care of each other. And lastly, thank you to Miss Verasso for calling me out on the Food for Kids Eat a Beat Challenge. So I remembered late last night. I've been doing very well this Lent, not having my junk food late at night, and I've been managing to go to bed without having a bad ice cream or something like that. Beets are not exactly my favorite food, but something I will eat on occasion if necessary, and this is a good cause. So this is the Eat a Beet Challenge, Food for Kids. Food for Kids supports food for, needy kids all around the city, but they especially support us here at Cathedral. So I am going to eat a whole rosebud beet, and my duty is to challenge the next person. And who else can I challenge but Vice Principal Juba? So Vice Principal Juba, eat your beet, and have a great day, everyone. Food for Kids, and they're going to get my $25 donation too. Talking with my mouth full. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to President Mario and Student Council.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Gales. I'm here with an announcement regarding St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is a global celebration of Irish culture on March 17th. It particularly remembers St. Patrick, one of Ireland's patron saints, who ministered Christianity in Ireland during the 5th century. Because March break has been moved, it is actually our first time as a school celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and we have some exciting events planned for you. Firstly, classes can send a message of good fortune and wish luck upon Cathedral with paper shamrocks that will be posted in our school. It's a great way to spread positivity while celebrating Cathedral's first St. Patrick's Day. Shamrocks will be provided to all classes tomorrow, March 9th, and will be collected on March 10th. Secondly, there will be a Limerick writing contest that any student can participate in. A limerick, named after a country in Ireland, is an often humorous poem that consists of 5 lines with a strict rhyme scheme of AA, BB, A, in which the first, second, and fifth line rhyme, while the third and fourth lines are shorter and share a different rhyme. This probably sounds a little confusing, but putting one together is pretty simple and really fun if you get creative. Here is an example for better understanding. Mr. Daly is a principal we've got. He regales us with tales of 3-point shots. He loves to tell stories of all cathedrals' past glories. A greater fan of the Gales there is not. Your limerick can be either about St. Patrick's Day or somehow related to cathedral or school in general. If you are interested in flaunting your poetry skills, you can submit your limerick via a Google form that will be posted on at CHSTV News and at Cathedral Student Council's Instagram. Submissions are open tomorrow and due by 12 p.m. next Monday. The top 3 limericks will be featured on CHSTV News, so this is your chance to shine, poem-loving Gales. Next Tuesday and Wednesday during second break, Student Council will be hosting school-wide cahoots that will be all about St. Patrick's Day. The winning classes will get pots of gold delivered by a very special leprechaun friend of ours. And lastly, we are excited to announce that next Tuesday and Wednesday will be St. Patrick's Day Civvies Days. You are encouraged to wear green in honor of St. Patrick's Day, but you will be allowed to wear any school-appropriate clothing on those days. We are looking forward to a great celebration of Irish culture. We might be true blue, but remember, Gales, we're warriors of the Dark Ages native to Scotland and Ireland. That's it from me. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Mario. Graduates, if you are graduating and not returning to Cathedral in September, please email chs@hamilton-catholicschoolboard.ca by this Friday. And speaking of graduates, the grad committee has sent you the information required to book your graduation portrait session online. Please check your school email for this message. There's a $30 sitting fee, and the fee provides 10 different poses, a variety of backdrops, and an 11 by 14 composite of your graduation class. All details are in the email. Please see Ms. Tambasco or Ms. Simpson if you have any questions. And to end off our show, I'll pass it over to Ms. Salsiccioli, who has a special edition of A Moment in Science for International Women's Day.
Hello everyone, Ms. Salsiccioli here. We decided to move our Moment of Science to Monday. I have a fantastic story for you. This is a short video talking to you about the first woman of physics. There are many stories of women persevering in science. This one is a fantastic one. My sources tell me that her name literally translates into courageous hero, and that's precisely what she is. So enjoy the video.
Cheung Wu, also known as the First Lady of Physics and Queen of Nuclear Research, was born in a small town near Shanghai, China in 1912. The second of 3 children, Wu studied at the National Central University, one of the oldest and most prestigious institutions of higher learning in China. Initially a mathematics major, she eventually switched to physics and graduated with top honors. After graduation, she spent 2 years doing graduate-level study in physics and also worked as an assistant at Zhejiang University. She then became a researcher at the Institute of Physics of the Academia Sinica. Encouraged by her mentor and supervisor to apply for her PhD abroad, she eventually decided to move to the United States and studied at the University of California, Berkeley. After completing her PhD in 1940, she and her husband moved to the East Coast where Wu worked at Smith College. After a few years, she accepted an offer from Princeton University as the first female instructor ever hired to join the faculty. In 1944, Wu joined the Manhattan Project at Columbia University, a research and development study during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapon. She helped to develop the process for separating uranium metal into the U-235 and U-238 isotopes by gaseous diffusion, producing large quantities of uranium as fuel for atomic bombs. After leaving the Manhattan Project, Wu spent the rest of her career in the Department of Physics at Columbia. It was there that she was approached by Sungdao Li and Chen Yang, 2 theoretical physicists who grew to question a hypothetical law in elementary particle physics, the law of conservation of parity. They eventually enlisted Wu's help, and she made history when she conducted an experiment that disproved the law of parity. This led to a Nobel Prize for the male physicists in 1957, but Wu was excluded, as were many other female scientists during this time. Aware of the gender-based injustice, a few years later she stated, "I wonder whether the tiny atoms and nuclei, or the mathematical symbols, or the DNA molecules have any preference for either masculine or feminine treatment." In 1958, she was the first woman to earn the Research Corporation Award and the seventh woman elected to the National Academy of Sciences. She was also the first woman to serve as president of the American Physical Society. In 1965, Wu wrote a book, Beta Decay, which is still considered standard reading for nuclear physicists. In 1995, 4 fellow physicists founded the Wu Cheung Education Foundation in Taiwan for the purposes of providing scholarships to young, aspiring scientists. Wu was a huge advocate for promoting girls in STEM and lectured widely to support this cause, becoming a role model for young women scientists everywhere. In 1998, she was posthumously inducted into the American National Women's Hall of Fame.